A local news station in Phoenix, Arizona did a pretty incredible investigative report into an advocacy group that seeks to help out those who are disabled. But they found that this particular advocacy group isn't really interested in helping disabled people out. They're more interested in cashing in. So ABC 15 did this investigative report, and what they specifically looked at was Advocates for Individuals with Disabilities. That's a foundation that goes around suing various businesses throughout the state to see whether or not they are following regulations when it comes to handicap parking. Okay, so this report does a better job explaining it than I do. So take a quick look at that, and I'll give you more details.
Ritz-Thalers filed 530 lawsuits this year. Restaurants, banks, offices. This minister even sued this strip club.
He's a committed individual.
Peter Stroynick is attorney for both David Ritz-Thaler and AID.
David Ritz-Thaler gone to all 500 of those businesses?
No.
But he's the plaintiff.
Yes. And the question is?
So he doesn't have to go for you to sue the business?
Absolutely correct.
Really?
Yeah.
Critics call them drive-by lawsuits because AID staff cruise parking lots looking for violations. This auto parts store got sued. Why?
I didn't have a van accessible sign.
For that, owner Bob Curtis says AID wanted $5,000 to settle.
Yeah, $50 sign for $5,000. To me, it's extortion.
Is that really an accessibility issue that requires a lawsuit?
Okay, so you kind of get a sense of what they do. It's not really about going after businesses that are really discriminating against disabled people or really hurting disabled people. It's about finding tiny issues with the way they've posted signs, with whether or not the paint is fresh enough on the handicap parking spots, and basically going after them very aggressively. And they've made a lot of money doing this. Well, ABC 15 decided to go to their house and figure out if they were following the same regulations that they're suing other people for. Take a look.
So this is where they do business.
Because at the parking lots for two buildings where AID operates, we found low signs,
41.
spaces with no signs.
2 spots coming up.
Around this entire building, not a single van notice, including the spot
We're missing the sign.
right in front of AID's door. There we also found faded paint and a ramp overrunning and blocking the access lane.
We'll have to check on that.
That's not good.
A big violation, says ADA compliance expert Peter Fisher.
Or are they in compliance, yes or no?
No.
Even close?
No.
And when we went inside to ask AID about the parking lots, out came their spokesperson, Jennifer Rogers, and Alex Callan, a legal assistant.
We checked both this location and your other location where you guys have the check sent, and neither one of them are in compliance with the ADA. I don't know if you guys knew that.
I don't know if you know that, but this is not a building of public accommodation.
That's why AID says this building doesn't have to comply. But our expert disagrees, and AID must be worried about us checking.
58, that's right.
Because they sent out this employee to film us and walk with us until she broke her shoe. Ended up barefoot. She then got in a car and started filming while driving, at points swerving close to us.
We don't want you to hit us, so we're going to go in this spot area, so I don't know what you need to do to work around us. We just don't. Okay, thank you. We just worry about people using their phones and driving a little bit, so.
And all this really comes down to one thing.
You're going to sue other businesses for not having these access issues. You brought people to this building who have disabilities. You don't think that maybe that you should hold yourselves to the same standards as the places you guys are suing?
Would you guys like to leave?
And when we left, they left us with this final thought.
Your story is garbage news, and you're making an embarrassment of your news station.
Thank you.
Oh, I love that. I love that investigative reporting. Local news is still salvageable in some ways.
So, first of all, I actually think lawyers get a bad rap. I've talked about this before, but maybe I'm biased because I know a lot of them. But I think that they fix a lot of things. Like if you got some medical product or whatever, like even the potholes in the road, like they're on it, and then it's got to get fixed, and that's part of why things work in America, right? But these guys give lawyers such a bad name because it seems like they've got bad intent, and so I love this investigative report on them, and it reminded me of what we used to do back in the day in Miami when Ben and I worked together before we started the Young Turks. So I get no credit for this because I wasn't one of the reporters. Ben originally was one of the reporters, then he became the lead anchor. So, and all of our reporters did this. They would do these badass reports. So Ben found this furniture company, the moving company that was scamming people and keeping their furniture and holding it hostage. So he does a report just like this, goes in and goes up to a guy's house. You're not coming for us, we're coming for you, right? And the guy goes, oh, that's a good point, come on in. Invites him in, and then boom, hits him with a lead pipe. And then you see Ben jump out and goes, oh, fuck. And he's running around. And so I lived this, real investigative reporting, right? And I was the producer on that show. And our guys would go bust meter maids that would go around. For example, I got 100 stories like this. They're giving everybody's tickets, but they would park illegally.
Yes, that happens all the time.
So John Mattis would be like, I don't know if you know this, but you're parked illegally.
Yes.
Can I do a citizen citation on you guys and give you a ticket? And they're like, how dare you? But then you know what happened? They had to fix it. And it worked, and they got all those reporters got Emmy after Emmy. Wow. So the reason I tell you all that is, go back to doing journalism. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
It's pretty neat, and it works.
Yep.
And that's such a good example of, a local news station being enterprising and realizing that, hey, you know what, this might be an interesting story that could lead to good things happening. These businesses, like the idea that you have to pay $5,000 to settle a case because you didn't erect the right sign, right? Like, you should put the sign up, but you shouldn't have to pay $5,000 for it. If you really genuinely care about making sure these businesses do the right thing, and if you're not in it to extort them, then you just tell them, hey, you know what, you got to put this sign up. You have 30 days to make it happen.
But you got 530 reasons of why they aren't just looking out for the good people and they're getting the fast payday. I mean, this is kind of one of those things where you're like, damn, I didn't think of anything like that. Is that something we can do on the side and just figure out who else is in violations of different places and be like, I'm gonna sue you. I'm gonna go. I wonder if she sued the company who made that shoe that the lady broke her heel in. They gonna sue that company too?
Yeah, thank you for reminding us of that, because that was actually the best part of the video.
And then she walked barefoot until she got in the car. Give me the play-by-play on that. What was she doing again?
So all our reporters back in the day, Alan Cohen, John Mattis, Ben, Mark Moon, they'd all have these kind of things. And so some girl, and everybody would have a different reaction like those guys did with their awkward smiles. Oh, that was awesome. One girl went up to Mattis and was like, poof, be gone. But so look, tytnetwork.com/join. You give me more reporters, we'll do investigations like that.
Yes.
That'd be awesome.
And we do on a mass scale, and that would be great.
That
would be amazing. We need a slightly different level of resource to be able to pull that off. But hey, tytnetwork.com/join.